Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Math Kangaroo session for grades 5 to 6. Hello everyone. Could you please turn on your cameras so we can see you? Krish and Shanmuka. Hi Krish.
I think you're muted, Krish.
Hello.
Okay. If you want to share your screen, you can start with the introduction. So.
Okay. Okay. Did you give me the screen sharing capability? I don't see that
Oh
yet.
yeah, let me do that.
Yeah.
Make host.
Okay.
Okay, you should have it now.
Mm. Just a minute. I think this is my new laptop. So I need to share the screen while I need to give permissions on that. Just 1 second. Let's see if it allows me now. Should be able to. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. It's my new laptop. Sorry. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the Math Kangaroo class. So for microphone, if you have any questions or you want to answer a question, that's when you can unmute. Otherwise, keep it muted and then keep your cameras on so that we can see you. You might want to have a paper and pencil handy because we're going to be solving some questions. And if you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hands. So before we start with what is Math Kangaroo, let's just do some quick introductions. So my name is Deepali. I'll be the moderator, the second moderator for this session. I am in 11th grade and I go to Capel High School. A fun fact about myself is that I've been playing the cello for 10 years. And let's see, my favorite holiday is Christmas. Arav, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi everyone, my name's Arav and I'm in 6th grade and I go to Capel Middle School North. So for me, a fun fact would be that I love playing tennis and chess, and my favorite holiday is Diwali, which is coming up pretty soon.
Okay. Harry, you want to go next?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Harry. I am 15 and I go to
EA Young
Academy in Roanoke. Fun fact about me is that I do a lot of things.
Okay. Nice to meet you guys. Now that you all have met our teachers, let's have a chance to introduce yourselves. So I know that Arav had some riddles and jokes prepared. So Arav, if you want to share those, and then if you guys want to raise your hands and answer them, you can.
So first, here's a riddle. So what has keys but doesn't unlock anything?
What has teeth
But doesn't unlock anything?
but doesn't unlock anything? I see Krish raised his hand. You want to answer, Krish?
A piano, because a piano has keys that you play, but it doesn't unlock anything.
Correct. And
Good job, Krish.
the joke is, why did the Scarecrow win an award?
I don't think. Okay, Shripal, raise his hand.
Because it was most outstanding.
Yeah, because he was outstanding in his field.
Oh, that's a good one. Great job, guys. So now we've got our minds working. So for this Math Kangaroo, you guys know it's a math competition for grades 1 to 12, and we have 24 questions for grades 1 to 4, but you guys are grades 5 to 6. So your test will have 30 questions in it, and you'll have 75 minutes. And also the test is like split up into different types of questions. So you'll have easy questions, medium questions, and also hard questions towards the end. Next slide. So, Arav, if you want to take this slide, you could explain problem solving.
What is problem solving? Problem solving are different from exercises. In an exercise, we are practicing a technique or skill. You know how to approach it, and you just need to go through the steps to solve it. In a problem, we don't know at first how to approach it, and it demands much thought and resourcefulness. Problems often involve trying different strategies, making mistakes, and starting over until the solution is found.
Harry, you could take this one.
All right. So there are 4 main steps you want to take when solving any problem. The first step, of course, is to understand what the problem you have is. If you try to tackle a problem and you don't know what the problem is, often you can start tackling it in a wrong way and completely lead yourself in another direction. And that can waste a lot of time, which is sometimes an issue with especially the Math Kangaroo test. The second step is you have to come up with an idea of how you want to solve the problem. So throughout the study circles that we're doing, we're going to go through several different types of ways you can solve a problem that are commonly used on the test. The third step is to carry out your plan, and you want to make sure that you write down all of your steps so that you understand if you went wrong somewhere. Sometimes you have a small calculation issue or you made a small error. You want to know where that is. And then you want to look back at your work before turning in it. So if you have extra time,
go and check all the questions.
Just to make sure that you're absolutely certain that you are done.
I think Shripal has a question.
Oh, sorry, my head was still up.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so things that we'll learn, these are just a list of what the lessons will contain. Today's lesson will just be an introduction and a couple of number patterns. So yeah.
Okay. Arav, you want to get started with this slide?
Sure. So the first problem is about number patterns. So I'll go ahead and read the problem. There are 10 ducks. 5 of these ducks lay an egg every day. The other 5 lay an egg every other day. How many eggs do the 10 ducks lay in a period of 10 days? So we're gonna give some time for people to solve it, and if anyone wants to share their answers after, then they can raise their hand on Zoom. Okay, Shripal, you can explain it, but let everyone have some time to work it through.
Okay, so should I just wait a little bit?
Yeah, let's just wait. Let's just give him a minute.
Awesome.
We'll put a timer. I'm putting a timer of 1 minute. So just give a minute for the others to solve, and then we can get started with the solution.
Sure.
Or maybe others, if they're done, they can raise their hands if they're done. I think a couple of people have raised hand. It's around a minute already.
Okay,
Um,
Paul, you can start explaining.
Okay, so why the ducks lay 10 eggs because 10 days they lay an egg every day. So that's 50. And every other day means half of the days that the first ducks laid. So 5 days, 5 eggs. So that would be 25. And if you add 50 and 25 together, you get 75A.
Hey, Tree Paul, if you want to draw on the screen, you can click the annotate button and then you can like draw what you're
It's
thinking
on
so
the
that people
bottom
can
left
see.
corner of your screen.
Okay. Whiteboards?
Oh no, not the whiteboard. There should be. Are you on an iPad?
I'm on a phone.
A phone? Oh, I don't know if you could annotate on the phone. Or if you want, if you're listening to what he's saying, if you could draw so that other people could see.
Sure. So,
Okay.
can you re-say what you were saying again?
Okay, so the five ducks lay an egg every day, which is 10 days. All those 5 lay 10 eggs.
My mouse isn't working, so can somebody else?
I want to go from the computer.
I can draw it.
Sure. Thanks, Harry.
So they lay 10 eggs. Each duck lays 10 eggs, so that's 50 overall. And then what is it? Yeah. The 5 ducks lay 5 eggs because there's only 5 days. So that would create 25 eggs because each 5 duck is laying 5 eggs. And if you add 50 and 25 together, you get 75, which is A.
Good job. That answer is correct. Did anyone else have a different way of explaining it?
Anyone have any questions? Okay, I think we're good. We could move on to the next one.
All right. So Vivian and Mike were given some apples and pears by their grandmother. Although they had 25 pieces of fruit in their baskets, on the way home, Vivian ate 1 apple and 3 pears, and Mike ate 3 apples and 2 pears. At home, they had found out that they brought home the same number of pears as apples. How many pears were they given by their grandmother? Give everyone about a minute.
Let's give everyone like a minute or so to solve this question. And raise your hand if you have the answer.
And at any point, if you have a question, you can always send a chat directly to any one of the tutors so that we can
Okay.
answer your question.
I might mispronounce your name, but Anvi, would you like to share your answer?
Okay. So it says that they had 25 pieces of fruit and they ate 1 apple, 3 pears, and 3 apples and 2 pears, which added together is 9. So 25 minus 9 is 16. So it says that they were the same number of pears as apples. So they were 8 pears and 8 apples. So if they ate 3 pears and 2 pears, so 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 8 is 13. So they had 13 apples originally.
It was asking how much pears they had. Did you mean to say 13 pears originally?
Yes.
Okay, so B13 is the correct answer. Did anyone have a different approach? Okay. Priya, would you like to share your answer? Okay, never mind.
So what I did was basically almost the same thing, but I subtracted the values from the origin of it. So what I did was so since there was 5 pears eaten and 4 apples that were eaten, I figured out that there's technically one more pear in the whole entire group, so it had to be 13 and 12 for the total. Because if you subtract 5 out of 13 and 4 out of 12, you get 8 for both of the answers.
Good job. That's the way that I did it as well.
Yeah.
You both got the correct answer.
So I believe there are two more. Anyone else? Any questions? I'm on mute my. If not, should we move to the next one or out of?
Yeah, let's move ahead to the next one. Okay, we'll give everyone 1 minute to solve this because this is fairly easy.
You want to read out the question, Arif?
Sure. Find the distance which Mara covers to
I think Shanmuka is unmuted. Could you please mute yourself? Thank you.
Okay, so find the distance which Mara covers to get to her friend Bonica. So 1/8 of the distance is 100. So let's give everyone time to solve. There's actually 2 people who raised their hands, so
Let's give Krish a chance to answer this problem.
sure. Krish, would you like to answer the problem?
Yeah, okay. So we know that 1/8 of the total distance, like from Mara getting to Bonica, I guess, is 100 meters. And since there's, well, 8/8 in a whole, we know that there are 8 groups of 100 meters. So we can multiply that 100 meters by 8 to get the total distance, which is 800 meters, or C.
Good job. You got the correct answer. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I think we can move on to the next slide.
Carry over to you. Harry,
Sorry, it was not letting me click the unmute button. All right. The least positive integer, which is divisible by 2, 3, and 4 is, and then the options are 1, 6, 12, 24, or 36.
Okay, we'll give everyone like 40 seconds because this is fairly easy. Okay. Would you like me to call you Arjun or Sripal?
Oh, Shripal, wait, I need.
Okay, Sripal, you can share your answer once everyone's done. Or Arav, would you like to share your answer?
I got 12 because when you look at the multiple choice answers, like 6 is not divisible by 4, but 12 is divisible by 4, and also is 3 and 2, and it's also positive, so that's why it's the correct answer.
Good job. Got your correct answer.
All right. So while we're on this problem, an additional problem solving method that you may need to use in your test is if you look at the actual problem, you may notice that that 4 is divisible by 2. So you don't have to check for things that are divisible by 2. You only need to check for things that are divisible by 4. So that can save you a lot of time when actually going through each divisor.
Yeah, but Arav's way was really efficient. Good job. We can move on to the next slide. Okay. Does anyone want to volunteer to read this problem? Okay, then I'll just read it. So, how many hours is half of a third part of a quarter of 24 hours? Okay, once everyone's done, you can share it, Shripal. Share your method. Okay. Shripal, you can share your answer.
Okay. Okay. So should I write or I'll just say it. Okay. So a quarter of 24 hours would be 6. A third of 6 would be 2. And then a half of 2 would be 1. So the correct answer is C.
Good job. Does anyone have a different method of solving it? Okay, Priya, would you like to share your answer?
Yeah, so what I did was what I learned in fourth grade was that if there's the word of in a fraction statement, it usually means times. So I times a half times a third times a fourth. And then it also says times 24. So I also did that. And then I cross cancel because that's the easiest method of doing anything. So I cross cancel by 3, I got a 4. And when I cross cancel, I get a 1 in all total. So the 1's the answer.
Good job. That's also a very efficient alternative of solving this problem.
Okay, we move to the next one.
Yeah.
I think so. All right. Among the puzzle pieces below, 2 have the same area. Which 2 are those?
And we'll
Give everyone a minute to solve this. Chris, we'll let you answer this one.
Yeah, sure.
So among the puzzle pieces below, 2 have the same area. Which 2? So we're not actually gonna like calculate the area of all of these. So what we have to do is find like which 2 have the same amount of curvatures and indents. Like curvatures as in the ones that poke out, and then indents as in the, like I just assigned 2 names. So if we look at 1, it has 2 like outward curves and 1 inward curve. And then 2 has 2 inward curves and 1 outward. And then 3 has 1 inward, 3 outward, and then 4 has 2 inward, 2 outward. And then 5 has 2 outward, 1 inward. So basically, to do this, we would just match 2 of them that have the same amount of outward curves and inward curves. So if we look, 1 has 2 outward curves and 1 inward curve, which is the same as 5, which also has 2 outward curves and 1 inward curve. So the answer would be B. 1 and 5, they have the same area.
Yeah, I think that's a really neat way of solving this problem in particular. Another thing that you should note about these types of problems moving forward is that you're not always going to have things that have the same amount of outward curves and inward curves be the same area, because an inward curve we can say is like -1, and an outward curve is +1. So if you had number 4, for example, and then you had just a square, those would be the same area because this is +2 and -2, which is just 0, which is the same thing as just a square. So you want to make sure that you're not missing those puzzle pieces having the same area.
Yeah, good point, Harry. I think we can. Does anyone have any questions, Ursula? Okay, I think we can move on to the next slide. Which of the pieces below is needed to make the solid shown to the right into a prism? We'll give everybody a minute or so to solve this and we'll call on someone.
Envy, we'll let you solve this one after everyone's gotten a chance to look at it.
Yeah, Anvi is gonna solve this problem for us, and if you have a different solution, then you can share.
So the E piece sounded like the most likely to fit because one of the two piece parts can come on the outside and one of the parts can go down.
Good job. Does anyone else have a different solution?
Can you call out the answer clearly? I don't know whether
She
I
said
have.
she said E.
E is the correct answer.
Yeah, good job.
Problem. If you notice, one of the other competitors might have been C, which is this one. And the reason that's not correct is because if you fit it into the spot, it's going to point the wrong direction. Either it's going to point up, it goes up here, or it goes right here. So
Yeah.
that would not fit in there. But the E piece fits correctly.
Yeah. So for this one, you really need to visualize the problem and try solving it from there. Visualize like placing in the piece into the prism. It's kind of like a puzzle. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I think we can move on. Ari, do you want to read this slide for us?
All right, no problem. So, concluding, the four-step method is kind of a universal problem-solving method. You may use it without really understanding that you're using it, which is understanding what the problem asks, plan it, how you're going to solve it, carry out the plan, and then looking back and checking your answer, which may be the most important part of any test. And also, there are four major math concepts that Math Kangaroo is going to have in level 5 to 6, which is number systems, which is mostly just recognizing patterns and being able to calculate somewhat algebraically, which means with different objects, essentially. And then we have ratios, which is similar
to fractions.
Yeah, it's like having two fractions. And then we have expressions and equations, solving mathematical equations, and then geometry, which is shapes. We have some 2D shapes and 3D shapes.
Sorry. Okay, Priya, do you have a question?
So, is there also algebra in this?
No, I believe there isn't any algebra in this.
Okay.
You can solve the problems using algebra, but you can also use logic. It's not, if you do use algebra, it's not like super advanced. So
yeah, it's up to you how you like want to create equations and then solve for it, or you just solve it without that. So
yeah, all you have to do is like it's gonna give you two things, and then you have to create them into variables and create equations and solve them. That's pretty much how it is. So I wouldn't say it's algebra, but you still have to create equations and solve them. I think we can move on to the next slide.
You want to talk about this, or you want to go to the next exit ticket thing?
We can probably move on.
Yeah. Oh, and this one has a solution to it. So I think we are only 30 minutes or 35 minutes into the session. We still have another 25 minutes. So you want to cover something else?
Yeah, so the plan was that if we have extra time, we can move on to the homework and then start solving that.
So we want to do the 2019 paper, I believe, right?
Not the paper. There should be another document that has their homework.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. Let me.
Yeah, I think it's the student handout sheet.
Give me 1 minute. Let me pull it up.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, I'll just shift now.
While he's looking for the document, would anyone
Like to introduce themselves?
Priya, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
I have it open. So anyway, yeah, please go ahead with the.
They're still the same questions.
I don't think it's the handout. There should be something called like homework.
Maybe then I.
You should
Um,
check in the core team Google document. If you'd like, I can pull it up.
Yeah, if you can pull it. I didn't see a. Maybe I'll
Let
me
me
look.
see if I can find it, and then I can paste the link in the chat, and you can click on it.
Sure. I'm
Just
trying.
me.
I have the great.
Or you could just give her hosting abilities and then she can just host it.
Genius have a template for students. That's the only one. I only saw a handout and a presentation and a teacher file. I don't think there is a homework one.
I have the file. I'm going to send it in the chat.
So why don't you ping it?
Hold on. There you go. You should be able to pull it up on your browser.
That's what I was actually referring to, the 2019 paper, right? That's the.
Yes.
Oh, I think this grade doesn't have a homework file.
Yeah, that's what this one doesn't have. So the only thing that I think they had was the. Sorry, I need to.
This is just the questions.
Yes, this is the 2019 grade
This is
5
yeah,
and
the
6.
grade.
I think this is what they sent out for the other ones, and it doesn't have answers on it, so.
Yeah, we can start going through it then.
Yeah,
So guys, when the meeting is over, my mom will be sending out a homework file for you guys, which you guys won't have to do this all in one go, but try to finish a couple of questions every week, and then you'll have a couple of exams done by the end in time for the competition, so you can get practice with the types of questions and how to solve them. So right now, since we have a little bit of extra time, we're going to get started on solving them so that you guys have less homework.
Priya, do you have a question?
Can you see my screen? I shared it. So
Yeah, we can see.
yeah. Okay.
Do you have
So
a question?
sorry, what was that, Arav?
Priya has her hand raised up, so I'm asking if she has a question.
Okay, I didn't see
I
that.
just wanted to ask, is it compulsory to finish it? Because I'm also, I have extracurricular activities after school, and I don't think I can finish it like this week. So is it like until the competition date?
Yeah.
The homework is until the next
Okay,
meeting,
because I
believe.
remember like
Try
last
to
time
at
we had
least
to do the
five
homework for
questions.
the
At
week.
least try to get like 5 or 4 questions in each week.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah, I
complete it
think I
all
can
by
do
the
that.
next class. Mhm.
It'll just take a maximum of 10 minutes.
I
I
was like, if I had to finish the whole entire
study
thing in
session for
one
5,
week, I wouldn't be
6
able to
is
do
in
it. But since I
December.
have more time, I think I can do it.
No, we just have to solve a few questions every week.
And it's a few weeks in between each study session. I think it's 3 weeks before the next one because
Yeah.
of Thanksgiving break.
So if you guys have any, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Also, I was just trying to say that there are like 30 or 26 questions out here. So even if you plan, split it out within a 3-week time frame, maybe do a 7 or 8 questions or like that a week. That should be good enough to complete
I
it.
could do that, but like last time it was every week the meetings, but this time like the 5th and 6th grade meetings or have a huge time gap, and I just checked that. Because last time it was every week.
Every week, yeah. Yeah, it's a different structure this time around. So I think it will be every 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah. So since we have that long time frame, if you guys are going through the packet and then you find any questions that are particularly troubling for you, you can just send them over to the email from which you got the Zoom information, and then me and another tutor named Ashia, we have a YouTube account, so we could make a video with your problem and then explain it for you.
Sounds good. So quick time check. We still have around 20 minutes. Maybe we can cover 4 or 5 questions and go from there. So Ara, we want to get started.
Sure.
First one, and then maybe give a couple of minutes, 1 or 2 minutes for the team to try.
Sure. So the first question states, Carrie has started to draw a cat. She adds more to her drawing using a black pen. Which of the figures below can be her finished drawing? So anyone who has their answer, just raise their hand and we'll notify when you can share.
Shivpal, I think 2 people raised hands. Shivpal and Priya.
Share your answer later. When everyone's finished. Actually, I think you can just go ahead and share your answer right now.
Who am I mentioning, Arav?
Shripal.
Okay, it's B because the triangle is facing downward and the ears are thicker, so it can't be C.
What?
It's a small triangle facing downwards, so A, D, and E are wrong. And then it has thick ears, which C has thin ears, so it's B.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct. Harry, would you like to read the second problem for us?
Sure. The Mayan people wrote numbers using dots and bars. A dot is written for 1 and a bar is written for 5. How did they write 17?
Shripal, I'm gonna give someone else the option to share. So, Krish, would you like to share?
Yeah, so a dot is written for 1 and a bar is for 5. So if we look at A, I'll just use the process of elimination here. So if we look at A, it has 1 bar, which means that bar represents 5, plus a dot, which means that it's 6. B with 2 bars and 1 dot would represent 11. C would represent, well, with three bars and 2 dots, it would represent 17. But so we have our answer, but let's just look ahead just in case. Then the one after that has D has 3 bars and four dots, which represents 19. And then E has 2 bars and 2 dots, which would be 12. Since we're looking for 17, we know that C is our answer because it represents 17.
Good job. Does anyone have any questions for us? Okay, I think we can move on to number 3. So it says a digital clock in 24-hour mode shows the time 2019. What will the clock show the next time it uses the same digits? Okay, I think Priya can share her answer.
I know the answer, but could you please scroll it up? I can't see the question right now. Okay, so I think the answer is C, because first I did the crossing out method and I knew immediately that it wouldn't be A since 91 isn't a time for minutes. And 9 o'clock would be way too long, so B and D are gone. And 2109 is close to 2019, then 0 to 19. So it wasn't E, so I thought it was.
Okay, that's the correct answer. And I believe Krish has to leave right now. He said so. You can drop out if you need to.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just have another thing that I need to go to. Okay, bye.
No.
Thank you for joining us. All right. So the next problem says that there are 14 girls and 12 boys in a kindergarten class. If half of the children go for a walk, at least how many of them are girls?
Okay, so we'll give everyone a minute to solve this. Shreepa,
I think
I'll-
we'll let Arrow
I'll
solve
let
this one.
we'll let someone else share. So, Ara, would you like to share?
It's so like first when you add the girls and the amount of girls and the amount of boys, you get 26, and half of the children would be 13, and it's asking for the least amount of girls. So when you subtract 13, when you subtract 13 from 13 from 14, you get 1. So I think the answer is E.
Yeah, but you made one tiny error. You have to subtract it from the amount of boys. So you have to do 13 minus 12, which is 1.
Oh, okay.
But good job. You made the guy correct.
Oh, I actually think that you don't need to subtract it from the amount of boys because you have to subtract the
half of the total
number of people from the amount of boys.
Yeah,
Right.
he subtracted 13 from 12, which is half of the total amount of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what he did.
Let's
Does anyone have a question for this? And I think you wrote on the wrong problem.
that's okay.
It's alright.
I was trying to not put it directly on the problem, sorry.
Oh, okay. So the next problem is the sum of the dots on opposite faces of an ordinary die is 7. Which of the following could be an ordinary die? Shreepa, would you like to share your answer?
I believe it would be E, because it says opposite faces of an ordinary die. So if two sides of the 3 sides you could see on a die equal something, those are not opposite sides. For example, A has 2 and 5, B has 4 and 3, C has 3 and 4, D has 1 and 6. So E is the only one which doesn't have 1 with 6 anywhere on it.
Good job.
Does everyone here understand his
Method.
explanation? All right, I'm seeing general nods, so I think we could move on to the next problem.
So Harry, would you like to read for us?
So just to call out, right, for everyone's benefit, these initial ones are the simple questions that we are talking about, which are three marks ones, or the 3-pointer ones. That's the ones we are doing right now.
Anyone want to see an example of a 4-pointer or 5-pointer?
Maybe we can do
I
one
think
more time.
that going through
all of the concepts.
on this one is a good idea before going on to the harder questions.
Maybe we should show them a couple of hard questions,
Yeah, just
so that they can get like the thought process.
Okay,
yeah.
you want to do one more or you want to just shift to the 4-pointer?
Let's go to the 4-pointer for now.
So when you guys are gonna take the exam in March, it's a good strategy to try not to go too fast, but go at a good speed in the 3-pointer questions so that you can knock them out, because on the 4-pointer and 5-pointer questions you're gonna need a little more time.
Especially on the 5-pointers.
Also, you may want to start with the 5-pointers if you think that will help you with time management.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with problem 11, since this is part of a similar concept that we've already done a problem for. A 3-digit number is written on each of the 3 pieces of paper, and 2 of the digits are covered, and the sum of the 3 numbers is 826. And what is the sum of the 2 covered digits? And I think we'll let Sripal answer this one.
How about we let Anvi answer because
And we'll just wait a minute since it took us so long to read the problem.
he off the Zoom.
Don't see.
Yeah, I
don't-
think she left.
No, I
Okay.
don't. So only we have Priya and Shanmukha and Shripal. So on Arav is also there.
Yeah, so I think Priya could share this for us.
Okay.
So
Should we give them?
I got
or-
9 as my answer as because when you add all the 3 numbers up, so
Sorry.
basically when you add 243 plus one random number 7 plus random number 2 and 6, the last digit 6, and then we have a 1 on top, so all of this is equal to 7, and if there's a 2 on the bottom, we need to get a 12. So I put a 5 as my missing number. And then in the next one, since I got a 12, one's carry forwarded, and if I got an 8, I need a 4 to be added to my number, so I got a 4, and then that would be 9. So I thought it was true.
That's the correct answer, I believe. Okay, so should we now try the 5-pointers or continue with the 4-pointers?
Okay. I think
The means I don't hear from Arav. So Arav, are you good with the solution? Did you understand?
Yeah.
So no, other
Oh no,
Arav.
other Arav.
Oh,
I don't know.
while we're here, I think another important thing, if you don't want to write out the question, especially for a question like this, you can find the correct answer just by looking at whatever digits are hidden. So in this case, the second and I think it's the first digit, or the one that's farthest to the left. So you just check the second digit, and that's 3 and 2. So that's 5. So you already know that you have to get to 2. So that would the soonest you would get to that's 12. So 7 is the minimum, assuming that you can add this up.
Oh
And
no,
then-
3 is in the ones place, not the tens
yeah,
place.
3 is the 1's place.
Oh, sorry, it's my bad. But you would just start with the test place, figure out what number you need there, and then figure out what number goes in here. And then you don't have to use 3 digits on all the addition.
Okay.
A
So-
quick time check. We still have 5 minutes. So do we want to just summarize what we discussed, or anyone has any questions before we move on to the next question, or we just cover one more question and then wrap it up? If anyone has any questions, please do raise your hands. Otherwise, Arav, feel free to move to the next one.
Priya, do you have
Priya. Yeah, Priya, do you have a question?
You're on mute.
Sorry, it was raised from before.
Oh, okay. I think should we move on to a 5-pointer
I
or
think we
should
should cover a couple more fours. I would say that before we move to the
we
5.
have like 4 minutes? We can let them just try tackling a 5-pointer and see.
How about we take a
Um,
4-point geometry problem since we haven't done any geometry problems from this test.
Yeah, so I think 15 or 17 would work, or 18.
I think 18 would be a good problem for them.
Yeah, let's try 18.
excuse me.
Yes.
My dad just came and he told me that we actually have to go to my friend's house right now. So can I leave the meeting?
Sure.
Yeah, I think in that case we just close the session because many of the participants would have to leave. I've already left or something. So Dipali, I think we should be good for today, right?
So as soon as I cut out the meeting, my recording will be saved, and then my mom will go ahead and send over the recording to you guys in case you want to watch over and read the problems again. And then she'll also be attaching this packet so that you guys can work through it. And let us know if you have any questions and we can help you out.
Okay, I think that concludes it. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, I think we can end the meeting right now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you in 2 or 3 weeks.
Thank you everyone for coming.